So we'll be talking on web development tonight, and we'll be talking just briefly on the basics and the requirements which we might need to grow. But before we dive into it, I think we need to know the tips and what really entails, which should help us to grow and to know the way forward and what to learn and what you need to focus on is very, very important. So without taking much of our time, so what is web development? So like I would say, from the web development and web, I can say it just means creation of creating and maintaining of websites. I mean building website development. So and all those things you see, the Facebook, the Google, WhatsApp, all the webs you are seeing, there is always a back end to it. There is always a development we wish we cannot see. And that is what it really entails. So there are tools in which we use, and depending on the stacks you are working on. When you talk about stack, you're talking about the aspect of development you are working in. So, and in web development, there are several phases to it. And the first phase is the planning phase, where you sit down to think, okay, what are we developing? What are we looking up to? Okay, then you meet with your client or the stakeholders, and also meet with your prospective users to know, okay, what did they need and what are you going to render to them to maybe to promote business or to ensure that it's useful to them. Sorry, just a minute. Sorry for the digression. So like I was saying, the planning phase, after the planning phase, then people sit together to bring the picture of the development. And that's where web designer comes in, which are the product designers, the UI UX. And after then, which this is our major point, that's where we start building the pictorial views using different languages, using different tools and resources to build them. So, and after then, it is deployed. So, the first line of tools we use, in which is the which we'll be emphasizing on, is the IDE editors that we use, which is the basis of everything. Either any tools you use, you need an editor to communicate them with your server on the internet. So, and the major one we use is the Visual Studio Code. I don't know. I don't know if we have it on our system. Hello.
Hi, sir.
Can you hear me? Okay. Do we have Visual Studio Code on our system?
No.
Okay. I think we might need to download it, because that's where we'll be starting our lesson for tonight. So we might need to, if you want to download it, just go to your web page and just type download Visual Studio Code. So I think you can see now. I believe you can see my screen.
Yes, we can
Yes,
see
sir.
your screen. Visual Studio Code.
Okay. Yes, just type it and click on it. It will bring different versions of Studio Code. You have the ones that work with the Windows, the Mac, which is the Apple, and the light. So back to my class. So you before you can access the Visual Studio Code, linking it to your app, you need to create a terminal before you can link to it. That's why there should be a practical aspect to it. I'm trying to prep us before I move into the practical aspect of it. So that's why I say we can download. I think it's about 50 megabytes. So moving to it, that is the basic tools that all developers use, which is the HTML and the HTML. We call it hypertext machine language, which is very, very important. Is one that is responsible for the appearance of every input or every language you communicated through your editors or to your internal system, which is your laptop. So, and the HTML is just like is a general language which all developers use. Is the basics of it, which is very, very important for us to learn tonight. And also the CSS is also a language that we use, but we use with HTML, which help us designs communicate our language more effectively, give it a designs or a shape to deal with colors, shapes, is help to communicate and make it more bright. So I think that is just the basic, and with this, there are several things we need to work on or trying to, and there are some things we need to see so that we can really get what I'm trying to explain to you. So so I'll just go move to my Visual Studio. So let me teach you how to use the Visual Code Editor. So after downloading, I've already downloaded it on my laptop, so I won't be needing to download it again. So let me create a folder. So this is my page. I can create a folder. So that will be web development. So clicking on web development, then you go to the box. You will see this is the folder. Then you see looking at the box. So you just click on it and press CMD. You highlight it and press CMD. Just a minute, please. So it will take you to the terminal. Please, how many of us to this extent, please, to this stage?
I'm following.
Okay, so you are already on the terminal. That means you're already on the terminal in the folder. So if you want to link yourself directly to the Visual Studio Code, you can say VS, you can say code, capital letter, then it will take you to the editor you are using, or you take it to Visual Studio Code directly. And if you don't want to use this, you can go directly to the Visual Studio Code. Just press. It's already logging me in. Sorry, I don't want to use another means to. And so this is the Visual Studio Code. But if you don't want to, you can just press this. Then you click on it to take you to the editor you want to use, to which is the Visual Studio Code. Still the same thing, but there are some complex which you may need to log in through your terminal. As far as you can right click and log in directly to the Visual Studio Code after you've downloaded it and you've installed it. So, like I said, this HTML is a general language that we use for building. HTML and CSS is a general language which you have to learn to use any package or any tools in web development, and which is the basic. So, and we have there are some there are some features in this also important for you to relate for like this the files. This involve the new text. If you want to involve new text, new files, new windows, new all those things is very, very important to, in case you want to create a file. And also we have for the GitHub, we have for the search buttons, and also have for the extensions. Extension meaning you want to download any input apps that comes with Visual Studio Code. It also make your work easy with like this GitHub. Instead of you going to the internet connecting, you can just connect it directly to your laptop. So, but that is by the way. So this you are already in the folder, which is the web development. You see a plus here, which you can create a new file. Here you can create a folder, but here we are creating a new file, and then you can just press for instance, let's say index.html. HTML is a symbol you press just to tell your processing device that okay, oh, this is what you want to do. Okay, everything I'm writing here, I'm dealing with HTML language. So it will show an indication, which is this red. Can you see if I remove the hell? If I remove this now, it's not showing anything. You see that it's saying the name is not valid as a file, or I should choose a different name. So that means they cannot identify this file I'm creating to any programming language. So if I put the HTML to show that it's showing, so it will open the page for you to work on. So, and here is when you get what I'm trying to say, when I'm saying is help us to display languages that we want to communicate into the web page. For instance, okay, let me create a header. Let me just read this one, and I say, hello, Alex. Automatically default browser inside my folder. To go to your folder, you click. Are you saying hello, Alex now? Hello, can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can.
Okay. I don't know. Please, if you are not following, you can just raise and so that I can come back and explain again, or maybe put you through again. So, like I'm saying, it helps to translate our language, our codes. All these things are codes that I wrote here. It helps us to interpret it in what people can read, to what people can relate. So, and for instance, I can write another thing, maybe ish, and this H means header. I'll still teach us different language, common language we use in HTML. This H1 means header, H2 means sub-header, H3 means sub-headers, and the more the H, the more, let me make an example for you so that you see what I'm talking about. So let me say, hello, Alex again. H3, H3, say you are welcome. Four, you are highly welcome. So I put and save it. When you save it, it automatically by default load itself on the default browser on your internal system. So you go back and reload. Just come here and reload. When you reload, you see H1 have bigger text, the H2 have smaller, and smaller as it goes. So this is the basic function of HTML. So I'm just importing, just like interpreting or transporting all my coded languages into a web page where people can relate with it. And lastly, I can also import an image. So I want to import an image. Let me go to any image. Okay, let me just look for one. Okay. So this is an image. If I put this image, I will have to import it into the file. This is the image I brought into the file. Please, do you know how I brought this image into this edit? Hello?
No.
Okay. Nobody is saying anything. Okay, what I just did was that this
No,
is the
sir.
folder. This is the folder, which is the web development that I opened. So I now display an image on my web page. So I will just come import, I will just drag. You can copy, you can just import, you put it inside the folder. So that's all. Then it will automatically reflect on your web. And if you don't want to drag it, you can just come and drop it in the web editor. To both of them, it will still show. And this is the image I dropped, which is the web page.pg gpg. So do we get that now?
Yes.
All right, because this is an interactive class. If we are left behind, you may not get it as we move on. So, and the symbol for importing image is img. Just click img. Then it brings two parameters. One is talking about the source, where you import when you are importing the image in your web server. Which page are you importing this image? And this image is already in the file. There is no special file you are creating for it. So you just make a slash. If you press slash, it will bring all the files that are already in your language. And there are two files, which is the web page and the index HTML. So you just click this. I will remove this uh finding or slash test, so that it's just to sort out all these files you have. And this alt means it's talking about, okay, what is the function of this image? It's just like a label. That way, it's just like a label. Okay, let's say for this, for maybe euro display. Euro means the first page you see in a website. So let's say for euro display, then you come here and save. So you go back to your browser, then you open it again. So can we see the image now?
Yes.
So that is how to import an image from an editor into a web page using HTML format. So moving back again, there is a way you can also list your file, and this will be the last thing. You can read up on other tests we use. There are many other tests we use. We have paragraph. You can also use paragraph. Let me put it here. Maybe this image, can put it below. paragraph. Kindly look at the image below. So paragraph is just like telling you that you just want to write a sentences and you be, be glad. Let me just make an example, just a common. Okay, so loading again. See, are you seeing below it? I've not saved it, that's why I'm not seeing it. You have to save, then you load it again. So can you see it below now? Kindly look at the image below, then you will see that, and you will be glad. So I think we are seeing it here. You can see it here. So those are the things HTML does. So basically now, what do we see with respect to this page? I think there should be something that is ringing in our mind. Now, why are all these things being looking unorganized? And uh that is where CSS comes in. CSS helps us to structure the code. It helps us to make it neat. It helps us to make it the color, the text, everything. It helps us to make it look great. And to work with CSS, before going, please, do we really get the concept of HTML? Hello, hello.
Hello. Yes, in a way.
Okay,
I
please,
tried.
do we really get the concept of HTML? Can we create an HTML file?
I'm not sure of that, but then at least I understand it a
Okay,
bit.
okay. Like I've said, after the first thing you do is you have to download an editor, maybe maybe Visual Studio Code. This ourselves on Visual Studio Code so that we get it very well. And with time, I'll introduce us to other ones which will make your work more effective too. So, like I've said, this Visual Studio Code now, I've already created an HTML before. Let me create another one. If you click this new file, you see an icon which is a new file. And you also come to file, also create a new file from here. Then you name the file you are creating. So you can name it maybe okay in let me just say okay, ds base, then you click a dot. That means you've already named it, then you put acronym, which is the device that okay, this is the language we are writing with, which is HTML. Then you click save, it will create. And that's a long process if you come to file. And if you want to create it directly on your Visual Studio without going to plus this plus, which is here, just click it. Okay, the TDS, that's the name of the file I want to create, .html. Then you click enter. You've already created it. I just make one click, and if I come here, I'm making about 5 clicks, which is here. But here, you just click. You've already created what you want to create. And also, you may want to put all this in here, because when it comes to a page, you may be creating like 50 pages. So, and you may need to group them together. For instance, I've already have one page. For instance, now I have like login page, login page, login page, dash HTML. I have sign up page, sign up page, dash HTML. I have authentication, authentication, HTML, and what else? And okay, maybe OTP, OTP page plus HTML, plus HTML. So this, looking at all this file, we want to group them so that other people, maybe other developers may relate. You have to create a new folder. You see, beside the new file, just create a new folder. Then you can say, okay, this sign up page and login, you can just call it one general name. Okay, maybe what's the general name? Register page. Register page, just a folder, then you click, then the folder for you. So this folder, you put also the the sign up and also the sign in. Sorry, copy, paste, then you delete. So this is already in sign up. Register page, which is the folder, and you can also put the login too. You can just drag it. You can just drag there. Still the same thing. Okay, this is not dragging well. Okay, I can just cut and put it there and paste. So that means this, when you close the folder, you are only seeing other aspect of it. So when you click, okay, all these registers, these are things in your register page, which is the login and the sign up and like. So I'm just telling you how to create a folder and how to create a file. So the files, if the files are put in a folder, but the major active language are inside the files, which is where you write the code. But all your code are grouped together in a folder. So that's how to create a HTML files, which is very, very important. That's where you write most of your codes. So, and like I've said, before I move to CSS, CSS is also an important aspect of it, which is very important because it's just like when you are spraying in water, when you go spraying water, it's not about pipe it and taste. And that's what CSS does for us. And talks about the font size. Maybe you want to change the size, the color, the shapes, and the like. So that's what CSS does. And how can you create a CSS file? So you still do the same process. You click this you click the new file, index.css, then you enter. So but the after the dot, you put CSS to instruct your device that, okay, I'm writing a CSS code, which is very, very important. And that's how to write a CSS file. So let me make an example here. Okay, where did I write that? Okay, the index HTML, where I write a little code for us to display on our web page. So, which is the hello, Alex, the thing. So we can make this thing big, can make it smaller, just to our taste. I will make an example now for us to see. So for instance, there are many parameters or languages you can write in CSS, right from the front codes, the front size, the margin, and the like, so, and the height, the displays, the flex, and like, so it's a whole lot which we can, browse, learn about all the necessary languages that are under CSS, so that we can able to manipulate our website, make it attractive and more good for people to see. For instance, the font size. Okay. So before we can connect that, there should be a structure. Sorry, I missed a part. There should be a structure for us in order for us to achieve that. For instance, we have to be able to link the two, uh, the two, the two folders together. Well, we can also, I think that is the only way we can make our code readable and more easy for us to code. So all we just need to do is just press this exclamation button, the one, just the top one. Then you see there is a template that has already been input for us, which has been already there for us to navigate all our functions, all our language. And we start with the HTML, the language, which is English, the is just like a normal programming language. We have to tell us okay about the device, iOS, the viewpoint, the wide, the inbuilt weight that comes from the page, and also the title. The title is just talking about what the people will see when we load our page. For instance, now let me say this is web development tutorial. So if we save this, save this, to take us to, and we go to, you can see on the page, I've deleted everything on the page. Is this not showing? So laptop is loading. Okay. Okay, go to the web development. So you have to go to that exact index HTML file for you to be able to load it. Where I kept the file again. Okay. Okay, like you can see, it has changed the language. You can look at the top. Can we see it now? If you look at it, you can see this is web development tutorial. It's just like a title of our page. I'm feeling now. Just telling us that, okay, this is what we are building. It's the title that will come. Okay, we tell the person opening the page that, okay, this is what we are doing here. So the body is just talking about the content of what we are writing. So, and here we can write the header, which is header one, like I thought of earlier, maybe hello world. And we save and we load, which is this. Usually goes a long way. I don't know if I will still have time for us to dive into CSS tonight, but I would love us to, which is part of our agenda, to create us maybe a login page before we take it a day tonight. But time is not on our side. Let me see, maybe I can see a demo here for us to practice with. So let me show us just an example of the CSS. For instance, now this index HTML, if I want to, maybe I want to design this hello world, I can write index. I first create a file, which is the index.css. Then I come here, then I write the body. Writing the body, I put the curly braces. The curly braces is just to tell us that, okay, there is what we want to import here, which is very, very important. For instance, maybe the font. Maybe the font size can make it larger. That's the font size. So if, and I, okay, let's come here and, after I've written the CSS, which is for the body. The body means is encompass all. It's just like what you can see in the page. Is the major content of the page, which is the pictorial aspect of it. So and the only thing in my body is just a tag, which is the H1, and that's what I've brought here, which is my body. So if I say this font size should be larger, and I come to my page, let's see. Okay. And I come to the browser, which is the index, open it, you find out that it's a bit larger. You can also use, if you want maybe an exact font size, we use figures, maybe pixels, maybe 40 pixels. So you also save to control the size. Okay, sorry. Before that, you need to connect it. I shall say this thing is not changing. You need to connect it with the files. I mean, you need to connect it to the index HTML files, and you can connect from the heading file. For you to connect it, you need a link. So the inbuilt link you use, you can just write link. It will bring you the format of what you need, and the F tag means you have a particular folder you are targeting that you want to link a file with. So you can just write your file, maybe it to come and, like I've said, you can just write a slash to bring all the files that you have in your browser or in your current development. Just press index .hts. That means it's linking that files to your files for you to style it. That means for you to change, for you to design it. So if you click save, I think our development should be functioning now. Are you seeing now? It's becoming bolder and larger. So if going back here, can make it more larger, maybe 80 pixels. Saving it. It's more bolder. So, and if you want to be smaller, 10. So just save to, or you press Ctrl S, then you go back, you find that it's so small. So, and there are other things you can do with CSS. You can also shift it, maybe margin. You can come here, maybe margin. You can say margin to the left, maybe to the left. When you click margin, you have different type of margin. You have margin to the top, margin to the bottom, margin to the left, margin to all those magic blocks. I think let's just pick margin to the left. So you can, let's say 50 pixels. That means it's too close. Let's just shift it to the right a bit. So that's what margin to the left means. You are shifting it to the right. Are you seeing it now? You are shifting it to the right side so that there is a 50 pixels distance between the edge of it and the text. So those are the things CSS does for us. And also you can also control CSS. You can also control CSS maybe with images. You can also control our image with CSS. Let me import the image again so that we can have an idea of what I'm trying to say. Even if you have below, then we can build a mini login tomorrow. Okay. So like I said, you have to give a description. When you import it, you clear the slash tag. Then you can just write the description, maybe web pictures. Then you save. Then you load. So seeing this now, you can reduce the size of the image. Okay, this is taking all the pictures. You can also reduce the image. And how will you reduce the image width? Maybe, width means how wide it is. So it controls it too, which is very, very important so that you can give space for other language that you want to write. So coming here, you can just say image, click image, then there will be a curly braces. Then maybe a width. Can write maybe a width of 500. A width of 500 will be more. So are we seeing it now? So counting the width, this is a 500 width distance, which is more smaller. So making it, let's say 100, should be more smaller than that. Okay, you can see very small. So, and also, if you don't want to calculate it with pixels, we can make it a percentage. Maybe let's say 100%. That means you are taking over all the sorry, I'm trying to locate as an error. I'm trying to locate the percentage 5. Okay. So if you save this, you can see it's taking over all the screen. That means you are taking total percentage of the screen. I mean you are taking over all the screen. That is meaning of the percentage. It calculates based on the screen display. And if you make it 70, that means you are taking total percentage of the screen. So that's basically what CSS does. It does help you to to maneuver or to manipulate all the HTML codes you have written, which is very, very important. So I will just go through these steps once again so that we can relate with it again. I will close everything so that I start from the beginning, then we round it up. So okay, closing, closing. So let me delete this so that I create a new file for us to see. Just make okay, close the terminal. So like I said, we need to create a folder. Creating the folder, let me say web development. Then you right click to take you to the VS Code. After you right click, it open the folder for you. It open this page for you. Opening this page, then you create a file, and you can create a folder depending on the volume of work you are doing or how you want to structure it. So, but we are just picking an example. You can just creating files, just HTML and one CSS file. So you say let's use index. Let's say index. Write in small letter index.html. As you see there is okay, this is HTML file. This is a already programmed file for you to write. Then you click start. When you click enter, it opens the files for you that okay, you can now write. I told you that instead there is a format that makes you to write. There is a structure format that contains the head, the body, and the tail. So, and how to do that is just you press your shift and you press 2. Sorry, you press 1 rather. So it will bring an exclamation mark. So just click it. It will bring a format for you to contain the head and the body. So maybe you get what I'm saying now. So then I told you that the title is also important. It helps us to know what is the title of this page, what you are doing there. For instance, so this is web development. Sorry, development tutorial. Then after this, I told you about the body. The first thing you can do, for instance, the first thing is to identify what you really want to do. Okay, am I writing a text? Am I writing an image? Okay, what do I need to do? Which language do I need to create? For instance, if you are writing an heading, okay, an heading is different from a paragraph. Okay, paragraph is different from a heading. So all those things are very, very important. For instance, I'm just writing a text. So if I want to write a text, I can just write maybe a header. H1, maybe hello, hello world. Okay, if you want to add an email, I say it symbolizes IMG. You can learn more of this language. Just type CSS languages. You bring all this. Like I said, if you bring the source, if you want to fetch a particular image, you have to first drop them in your folder. You drop it in the folder, and you can drop directly in the VS Code. You can drop directly in the VS Code. Just copy. So can see now it's already on my VS Code, which I've already renamed the the image to what to what I want, so that I can easily trace it. Sometimes you may be working with a lot of images when you are building a website, so that you'll be able to know, okay, this is login page, this is sign up page, this web development page, which is very, very important too. So you just click a slash button and you click web page. So like I said, then you create a CSS file. So index.css for you to control the file .css, then you press enter. So after you press the enter, then you locate where the HTML, okay, they're under body. Okay, so either you can go directly, you can pick it up, make it a general. For me, I'll just pick one by one, which is the the H1. Just press H, then you create a parenthesis, or let's make it a body. First, the body. Then what are the first thing you do? Let's increase the font size. Font size. Like I said, you can make it like that. Let's just make it pixels. Let's say 800 pixels. So let's also an image. Okay, I said you can. I thought it was about why I don't want to dive into a lot of. Let's say you can make it percentage, or you can make it depending on our taste. Okay. So you save it. Before this thing can be connected through the HTML, just when you press the link, you see the tag, just the index.css. So I just click save files. Then you go to the folder, just click it. So which is the HTML is what defaultly generated browser. Just click, as you can see now. Okay, I think there is something we're not getting right. Oh,
I don't know. Did his battery shut down? Because the laptop displayed the battery
hello,
was running low. Okay.
hello.
Okay, Mr. Olaye, we can hear you.
Can you
Please
hear me
go
now?
on. Yes, we can.
Yeah, sorry for there is an interruption in my battery. Sorry. So I'm already rounding it up. I just want to show us what I've done before, which we can see clearly. I'm just repeating what we've done. So I don't know if you are really following well, and tomorrow I will love us to just make a practical example of what I did. Just create a HTML files and a CSS file. Then we create an image, we reduce the size so that at least one thing about coding is there should be an hand-to-hand experience, which is very, very important. Then tomorrow we work on a really more practical project, so that there won't be a lot of explanation again. I will just be bringing out all these common languages in building a web page. But it's also important we know how to create those files, because an environment is a major thing that is important when it comes to web development. An environment is important, so we know how to create those files, we know how to create about them, and tomorrow I know that we should be able to download the VS Code, install it on our laptop, then we build it together. I don't know, maybe you are following me. Then tomorrow we review it.
Okay.
So I think we are already our time is already used up. This is 1 minute after 9. Sorry for my battery, but I think we are almost done already. So I will be handing over to Mr. Adeboye to continue the tutorial to round it up.
Okay,
Hello,
thank
Mr.
you very.
Adeboye.
Yeah, I'm with you, and thank you
Yes,
very
sir.
much for the call, Mr. Olaoye. Thank you very much. We appreciate. So I believe each and every one of us here we've learned one or two things because this is just the basics to web development. Because now even now web development is evolving and there are a lot of dynamics to web development now. But when you are getting started in web development, the basic things you still learn still boils down to what HTML and what and CSS. So I know for some of us that is just getting started, maybe in tech or even in programming or so, it might look, I don't know how to put it, might still look somehow to us, might not be clear. But I believe with time, when we keep practicing, it becomes more easy. At least HTML is still simple. It's still like I'll say it's still like some of the simplest. So one thing we just do is there was a slide he was explaining in the beginning of the class of the training. So we'll try and share it to us on the group to also try and follow up to read more. And also when the recording is available, it might not be available tonight or tomorrow. So, but once it's available, it will be dropped on our YouTube page and the link will be shared for us to go through them. So let's just stay active on the group and keep following. And also before tomorrow, each and every one of us that would still like to continue and participate, we should try and download VS Code, as he has said, so that we can practicalize it as he's saying it. Because once we are just listening and we didn't try it out on our own, we won't really get it. And even is when you are trying it out and you are facing an issue, that is when you knew you can ask questions. Because tomorrow I expect us to come with some questions that, oh, you tried this one, you got this error, how you solve it or so. Because when he was explaining in HTML, there's well, what we call the opening tag and the closing tag or so, something like that. But thank God VS Code or to complete most of it. But assuming you have to write it, or maybe you are using another notepad, for example, because you can write HTML using notepad, just your normal notepad you use on your system or so. You can write the HTML and just save that notepad as HTML, and you see if you run it, you still work. So if you have to write all those things manually and you didn't put some things maybe in your opening tag or closing tag, you didn't observe it very well, it can bring error. That is just an example I'm saying. So it's when we practicalize all these things and do it ourselves, we will be able to see some errors we will come across, even learn how to solve those errors. So don't them just bore us with too much story. I just want to appreciate each and every one of us for joining the call tonight. And I believe tomorrow will be much better than today. We will learn more tomorrow. So thank you very much. I don't know if Mrs. Moton have anything to say.
No, no, no. I don't have anything to say. Thank you, Mr. Olaoye, and thank you, Mr. Adeboye. We are grateful for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Okay, all right. Thank you, everyone. We'll be calling it a night here. Good night.
All right. See you in class tomorrow.
Good night.